On this week of the Wayward Wellness Weekly Recharge, if your brain keeps replaying moments you survive, that's not a personal flaw. It's conditioning your nervous system learned a long time ago. Here's some things we're going to cover this week. Why rumination isn't overthinking. It's your nervous system stuck in a learned threat loop. A real gig moment where silence hit, panic spiked, and something finally changed afterward. How inherited beliefs and identities keep your brain replaying moments that are already over. Why we don't need to burn everything down, just the blueprint that no longer fits. And a reminder about my free 3-day Burn the Blueprint masterclass, because mentioning it twice is nice, and grandmas are always right. And lastly, 5 simple ways to interrupt rumination when it starts running the show. So I had an insight on my own growth this week. Let's start with this week's gig. 20 minutes left, dance floor packed shoulder to shoulder, ladies' night. Or, brunch. I'm guarding my mic and my guitar like they're newborns. The ladies are hot and heavy, ready for the next song. We are riding the high of I Will Survive. Next up, Pink Pony Club. We hit the looper. Nothing. Silence. Then extended silence. This shiny, upgraded Boss looping station, which has already proven itself to be a hot technological mess, decided to absolutely shit the bed. Nick is scrambling to get it working like he's trying to figure out which wire to cut to stop a bomb. Meanwhile, I'm watching the women drift off the dance floor, one by one, anxiety at its peak, basically about to nervously start singing the national anthem, or Landslide, a cappella, whichever one gets blurted out first from muscle memory. 1 minute turns into 3. 3 minutes feel like 30. Time is moving in quicksand and at warp speed, all at the same time. Eventually, Nick gets it working. The beat drops. The crowd comes back. We finish the gig strong. Right after that, a woman asks to take over the mic, which, if you know me, I never allow. But I made an exception, and she said, "Make sure you tip the band." And here's where the story used to go sideways for me. Old Renee would be sitting right here, now, days later, replaying that silence on a loop. That was so awkward. You lost the room. Everyone noticed. You should have done something. What kind of front person are you? They are never going to want you back here, ever. That's rumination. But this time, my brain decided to do something different. Instead of spiraling, I thought, if that happens again, engage the crowd. They were 2 feet from me. Ask them where they're from, what they liked about the night. Turn it into an experience instead of freezing. No panic, no internal beatdown, just a plan. And that didn't come from confidence or personality. Trust me, I am not built to be a front person. That came from unlearning a whole pile of shit conditioning. Here's where rumination actually comes from. Spoiler, it's not a you problem. Rumination isn't just overthinking. It's the result of absorbed beliefs and inherited identities that taught your nervous system that mistakes are dangerous. Awkward moments mean failure. You're responsible for keeping everything smooth. And if something goes wrong, it's on you. Most of us didn't choose those beliefs. We inherited them. From parents who were hard on themselves. From school systems that rewarded perfection. From workplaces that punished mistakes. From environments where being the quote-unquote reliable one became your identity. So when something goes sideways, even something small, your nervous system doesn't register a technical glitch. It registers threat to identity, threat to my worth. And once identity feels threatened, the body does what it knows how to do. Replay, analyze, rehash, fix, obsess. That's rumination. So here's what actually changed and why this matters. The moment didn't change. The looper still failed. The silence still happened. And people still walked away. What changed was the story my nervous system tells afterwards. Instead of the story being, that can never happen again. It ruined the whole thing. The story became, if it does, I know how to respond, and it didn't affect the outcome of the gig anyway. That's the shift. When you strip away inherited beliefs and outdated identities, your system learns, I can adapt. I don't need to panic. I'm not falling apart just because something went wrong. Same incident, different internal experience. That's not mindset work. That's nervous system work. And this is exactly why I created Burn the Blueprint. And stay with me for the end because I do have a practical tip for you. This is why my free 3-day training, Burn the Blueprint Masterclass, exists. Because most people aren't stuck because they're lazy, broken, or incapable. They're stuck because they're operating from beliefs they absorbed, identities they inherited, and rules they never consciously chose. And their nervous system is just following orders. In the masterclass, we break down how these identities form, why your body clings to them, and how to start stripping away what doesn't actually belong to you anymore. I know I mentioned it yesterday, and I'm mentioning it again because, as my grandma used to say, twice as nice, and grandmas are always right. So if this story hit a nerve, no pun intended, it's probably not an accident. You don't need to fix yourself. You just need to stop living inside someone else's blueprint. And you can learn more on that inside of the masterclass, but you can click that link inside of the email for more info. But here's a quick pattern interrupt for when rumination does hijack the wheel. If you feel the replay starting, that mental rehash, the why did I loop, the goal isn't to solve the thought. It's to interrupt the pattern long enough for your nervous system to stand down. So here are 5 simple ways to do that. No workbook or sign up required. Number 1, change your sensory input on purpose. Rumination lives in sameness. So stand up, change rooms, step outside, put your feet on something cold or textured. New sensory input gives your nervous system new data. It's saying we're not stuck. Number 2, name what's happening, out loud preferably if you can. This one feels almost too simple, which is why it works. Say, I'm ruminating. My brain is acting like a runaway train, or something along the lines of, this isn't happening right now. You're interrupting the pattern by specifically naming it. That creates just enough distance for your nervous system to realize this moment is not an active threat, and the intensity drops. Number 3, give your brain a job it can finish. Rumination is unfinished business energy, like a song on repeat that you just can't get out of your head. Give your brain a contained task. List 5 things that you can see. Count backwards by 7s. Name 3 songs that you can sing from start to finish. Completion tells your system that the loop is closed. Number 4, move your body in a way that matches the energy. If the rumination feels buzzy or panicky, stillness can actually make it worse. So try some of these things. A brisk walk, shaking out your arms, wall push-ups, stretching out your neck and jaw, or just twerk it out. Who cares? You're discharging energy, not calming your thoughts. Lastly, number 5, create a next time plan and then just stop. This one is key. Ask yourself, if this happens again, what's one thing I'll do differently? Write it down, then stop thinking about it. A plan gives your nervous system a sense of control, which removes the need to keep replaying the event. One last thing. If you need these tools constantly, that's a sign that the system is overloaded, not that you're doing them incorrectly or wrong. Pattern interrupts are first aid. Think of it as a Band-Aid on a wound. Burning the blueprint is deeper work. Both have a place, and you're not failing if you start with the first. Sometimes that might be all you need. See you guys next Wednesday, and as always, if you liked this, forward it to a friend so they can join the fam and be regulated like you. Have a great week, guys. And if you're listening to this through the podcast and this resonated, you can get this kind of work delivered to you weekly. The weekly recharge is where I share practical nervous system regulation tools, real-life stories, and ways to interrupt the patterns that keep us stuck, without turning it into a full-time self-improvement project. You'll find the link below if you want to subscribe. No pressure, just something steady and useful that you can come back to each week. See you next week.